Yo, what's up? This your boy Danny Boy, and you're now tuned in to the Nation of Podcasts. Let's go.
So you've been in the game since you were 15, bro. Signed to Suge Knight and the infamous Death Row Records. What was it like having
Yes,
Suge
sir.
Knight as your legal guardian and growing up as a teenager living with Suge?
Man, you gotta imagine that yourself. You know what I mean? Like being around one of the most infamous record labels at that time. And again, as I always say, I only can compare it to something like a Motown of the '90s, because it wasn't just about the all of the stuff that everybody hears. Death Row was running the music business at that time, especially when it came to a black label, a black independent label. So, being up under Suge and having opportunity to watch him at work and to build some of the things, you know what I mean? I've been in the room, seen the meetings and, some of the process of his thinking, not just the bullshit, but also the stuff that it takes to make records. You know what I mean? And, I can't not forget about the good shit that came with it. And to be able to hear so the west side of Chicago, I was born and raised on food stamps. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and, my grandma and my mom and my daddy, we made it happen. But to be able to go to a place, California, and live that California dream in Hollywood and be one of the most powerful dudes at that time in LA. And it took time for me to be around him, but he embraced me like a little brother or like a father would embrace a son. And to be able to just gain that relationship with a man. And I enjoyed every bit of it. Like now that I'm grown, I've never been the person to really ask for shit. Like shit would just give you things, and you know what I mean? You wake up and you need some money, it's in an envelope at the door by a runner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a couple $1,000 damn dollars. I mean, being grown, I could call a nigga now.
Yeah.
And be like, send one of them vanilla envelopes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was incredible, man. I wouldn't trade it for shit in the world. I would trade the other dumb shit that came along with it, but the experience of that is amazing still.
Excellent, excellent. So obviously, everybody likes to click and hear the crazy stuff. So give me a crazy story about living with Suge Knight, like, living in the same household, him doing the fatherly stuff. Give me some crazy stories about some stuff going on.
I really can't say that I lived with Suge.
Okay.
Like, that's not a thing that didn't happen. I had access to like Suge. I had keys to houses, or some of the houses didn't even need to have keys. All you had to do was just go to the bellsman and they knew who you were, and they just let you upstairs, and the damn elevator let off right in the apartment. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it was like I had access that I'm sure other people, and I don't care if they did, but I had access like a son would have access. So to be able to have access to the penthouse and, the house in Malibu and, other houses that he had, that was amazing. I was living like I have put out a record.
Right.
That's the first thing everybody say, well, how they owe you so much money because you never really put out a record. I never put out a record, but I damn sure lived like one was out.
Sure did, because you was on everything. You was everywhere. I mean,
Oh, yes, sir.
yeah. So speaking, I know everybody goes to this, the 1995 Source Awards. You were on stage with the man when he called out. Puff were all in the videos dancing. What was the temperature like when you guys got there? How was it on stage being from that point of view? You're looking out and getting to see all of that stuff. And then how was it when you guys were trying to leave?
So first off, when we first got there, everybody already knows the fake East Coast, West Coast shit that was displayed. Because when I say that, I never really thought that it was an East Coast, West Coast beef. I just knew that it was labeled Death Row and Bad Boys was at I. Why I say that? Because, Suge was friends with a lot of East Coast dudes that met up with Suge when he got there every time. And in different cities, you would meet different guys that Suge got built relationships with. So, and we partied well and enjoyed New York in the East Coast when we were out there. But you knew the temperature was hot because this whole beef thing was going on. And we from the West Coast. And we damn near 100 and some deep. You know what I mean? At the awards, and getting ready to go into the awards. I can't. Everybody in there was damn strapped.
Yeah, okay, so y'all had straps too.
A motherfucker walked in with a bag full of motherfucking guns. I went to reach for a gun too. Like, hey, what the fuck you doing? One and one too, and and at that time I ain't know the person to do no gun.
Right.
You know what I mean? But everybody we was ready for whatever it was.
Cause dude, you were a kid on stage. Like when you think about it, you were 16, 17 years old.
16, 17 years old, excited. You know what I mean? And I'm walking up on he kind of nudged me on the arm and was like, going up there, I went up there, I'm on the way walking, because Phil got told me, come on, I missed it. I didn't know I'm going to fucking go on stage. And then when I'm up there, I'm excited, you know what I mean? Because it's a damn award show. Who don't live, I live to want to be a part of and on the award stage.
Right.
That was my only time I've been on the stage for the award. And Suge is accepting, and his fucking speech now is, you tired of being all in your videos, I'm hollering on the side. I hear this shit. But I can't believe this nigga just said. But I can believe it because the nigga was like a gangsta ass nigga. Like, yeah, so it was like a proud moment for me too. And I'm hollering, woo! You know what I mean? As everybody's seen. Great experience. But I didn't know it was going to go down like that at all.
Okay, so I watched this show. It's I'm sure you've heard of. It's called Drink Champs with Nori and his guy. Puff got on there a while ago saying there was supposedly this nightclub called the Tunnel, and apparently Puff said after this, after the comment about being all in the videos dancing, he said that he checked Suge Knight at the Tunnel. Is that true? Was there a confrontation? Let me know about that.
So I spoke about this recently on other platforms before, as far as the incident of Suge being Suge and Puffy kind of confronting each other at the Tunnel. So I'm glad to know that, my biggest thing is it's kind of hard to remember every fucking thing since you was a kid. Like, I'm bald head, I had curls. I'm bald head now. I don't remember a whole lot of shit. You understand? So we're going to say, so certain shit out. But I'm glad to know that it was the Tunnel, and Puffy, Love, whatever the fuck his new name is, that he approved of that message that it was the Tunnel. But I was back there. It was myself, Suge, and Puffy came in, and it was one other guy. And I kind of said it nice on my interview, that they had some words because I really couldn't understand what they were saying. But I'm sure Puffy didn't get on no internet or anything and say that he checked Suge, because it definitely didn't look that way.
Right.
It didn't look that way. And, everybody now is checking Suge that he's locked up.
Facts. That's what I was about to say. It seems like ever since he's been locked up. Yeah.
Everybody checks Suge, Suge, and I'll fuck Suge up. You can fuck anybody up that's locked up for 28 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can fuck, like now, you know what I mean? I'm careful, lightweight careful of I guess I should be of where I go, but not what I say because it's the truth.
Right.
But Puffy got millions of dollars. He can cause a couple problems for some people, as he had before, right?
Right.
That we hear of in other interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Love, or whatever the fuck his name is, everybody else kind of stand for that shit. I don't give a fuck. People be wanting me to not talk because, is it because you talking, these people don't want to work with you? I don't give a fuck if I ever work with Puffy.
Right.
I don't care. Like, out of all these years, Puffy I ran into Puffy before. I have no problem with him. I done bought Sean John clothes. I done listened to some records. But I know he wouldn't. For anybody that got a problem with me, and I was 17, and a kid, just like they made decisions and shit as they were a kid and want to have a problem with it today, I don't give a fuck about that. But these stories is surprising.
Yeah.
But everybody checks Suge. Everybody beat Suge up. And I'm not saying he was the toughest nigga. We all seen him get knocked out. We seen motherfuckers like Ray Lewis get knocked out for Mike Tyson, that got knocked out. So it's not impossible.
Right. Right.
But I can't give you a handful of motherfuckers that I seen check Suge in the 90s.
Okay.
And if there is one, wave your hand.
Right.
Leave it in the comments.
On everything, because like I said, it just seems like to me everybody has a Suge Knight story now that he's been gone for 28 years. It seems like everybody from.
And I'm not saying Suge was the toughest nigga, but Suge didn't run with niggas that would allow you to check him.
Facts. Okay.
None of his thing, like if Suge wasn't a real gangster, the nigga that he was with was real gangster.
Facts.
You was not coming around talking about you finna check Suge and it ain't on record.
And that's facts. And that's what I'm saying. So that's why I don't, a lot of these stories that these guys be telling about Suge now, I just kind of take it with a grain of salt because, like I said, he's gone. And when he was around, what happened to all these stories, you know, between 99 and, you know, 2016, when nobody talking?
I seen a lot of them dudes run. Yeah. When Suge come in the club, back under tables, running under tables and going through the kitchen, running out the back door. The fuck out of here playing like everybody else. Now it's your turn for the next tough nigga.
All right, so let me ask you this. So the Toss It Up video, that's one of my favorite videos. You guys were on the beach doing that thing. Tupac was making some serious comments about Dr. Dre. You know, you seen the Death Row Uncut video. You know, he's, you know, saying, you know, all kind of stuff about him. Was that coming from Suge, or did Pac really have a dislike for Dr. Dre?
Now, let's make this clear. I can't wait to work with Dr. Dre.
Okay, yeah, clear.
So anything that's said in this message is only an opinion.
Right.
I just think that was Pac. You know, Pac was vulgar. Pac was outspoken. You know what I mean? And that situation was just starting to kind of like wire up. It was starting to, you know, ramp up. You know, the separation and Pac having that feeling towards Dr. Dre, and Suge's already an ass up when it comes to talking about people and making jokes. Because Suge made a joke in the beginning of the comment, then Pac said some shit. So I just think that was that's a good question. It could have came a little bit from Suge and Type 5 because Suge is a bullshit pumper. Oh. I'm sure some of the pump ups came from Suge.
Oh. All right, so some of Tupac's biggest songs, you're singing the hook. I Ain't Mad at You, Picture Me Rolling, Toss It Up. Yeah. What was it like being in the studio? There we go.
Yeah.
What was your favorite song that you guys recorded together? And then were there any gems that you guys recorded that went unreleased?
My favorite song that I recorded, I think, was Lil Homies, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Like, that was one of my favorites. And obviously, I Ain't Mad at You. You know what I mean? Especially after being a part of the video and seeing where the video went. And it wasn't I Ain't Mad at You wasn't too much of a song that Pac really liked, so to say. He doesn't like the video. Not the video, because you've never seen the video, but he wasn't too, into that song. Right. He had crossed over that song and wanted to do other things. But that was one of my favorite songs because of the video and the meaning, and then to live in that moment and Pac, died and didn't really get an opportunity to see the video and what the beginning says about, you got to earn your way to get in, and it was a heaven thing. I'm a kid and all this shit is going down around me, and I'm seeing things that I don't even talk about that's going on around me. And to see us in heaven, and I'm the only person that's still living.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm the only person that's around to see this. That part is something that I think is most memorable for me, and why I'm so connected to I Ain't Mad at You. But I didn't know any of those songs would do what it would do, or Pac would do it. He did. You know what I mean? Because I was in the situation. You really never really understand a picture when you're in the frame. You know what I mean? Like, right. You in it, you don't see it until you're able to step out of it. And now as a man, I listen, I'm 20 more years older than what I was when I did the song. And for people to still remember those songs and I Ain't Mad at You, to still hear it play, or play on the radio or stream through different places. I'm blessed for that. Yeah, facts. All right, so Suge Knight, he was to me, he was the original Mr. Steal Your Girl. Can you give us some names of some celebrities that Suge dated, during that time frame? Man, Suge was, to me, you had to watch Your Girl.
Right.
Me being the son of them, I remember getting into it with my girl thinking, her and Suge had did something, he came at her because the nigga, you can't trust him.
Right.
If she's fine, he at her. You know what I mean? And everybody was cool with the worker, but, who don't want to be with the boss? Facts. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of people compromise their marriages.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll lightweight let them play like they married now and seem like everything is fine, but I've seen them creep up with a lot of niggas. If I started telling on some of these niggas' wives, a lot of these celebrations that you see they'll be popping the fucking air out the balloon.
Right.
But Jasmine died, Keyshawn Johnson wife, and I hope because I said this before. I think it was Keyshawn Johnson wife, but I know he was a hurt motherfucker because his wife was, she was on Suge Knight and Suge was on her, and that'd be his thing. We call him Eagle Man.
So what about with Puffy's baby mom? Because there's been rumors about Puffy baby mom.
That ain't no rumor. That's not a rumor. Like a rumor is something like, oh, we heard. No, that was there. Like I wasn't in there when they fucked, but you know what I mean. Unless I don't know. Yeah, that ain't no damn rumor.
Right. Facts.
That's not a rumor.
All right, so now here's another. So there was rumors that Mary J. Blige was getting it in around Death Row too. Was there tension between Tupac and KC from KC and JoJo? And then kind of explain your relationship with Mary.
Funny as hell. I got in trouble a lot. Everybody was like, "Oh, I want to share my opinion of some of the things that like people say. You should have kept up that's a big fool and did it. People make me a bitch anyway. In calling or in comments because of my sexuality now. And I was just talking about it like the guy talked around the fire because the other interviewer he had mentioned something sort of to what you said, like. My manhood kind of, my ego kind of came out, and I just started talking to her. Hold on.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't fucking with this person. That was my girl. And whoa. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't know she was messing with Pac or anybody else that was on death row. And I don't think KC even knew at that time. He knew she was around us, but they were breaking up. I know him, and I kind of had our thing. KC kind of going through something. They were breaking up, and she was scared of them. But wasn't no tension. KC knew not to have no tension with Death Row.
Okay. Hey, so I do want to tell you, I know we're about halfway through.
That's cool. My relationship with Mary was a very a nice relationship, so we'll say, right?
Right.
It was a nice relationship. The shit that I mentioned, if somebody was stranded on death row, I'll be a little more nice because I'm working on my album and, I'm working on different things because they want to be like, man, people don't want to work with you. I talked about that shit because how many times us as guys, if some girls walk you through the hood and it's about 5, 6 of them and you and the fellas sitting around and damn, she's bad. And one of us might say, that's such and such. She got it. How you know, nigga? Oh, man, I fuck with it. I fuck with her sister. Niggas be sitting around and talk like that all the time.
Facts.
When I said something about Mary or rest in peace, I said something about Jewel. Everybody, they panties get up in a bunch. Like, but it's okay for other niggas like Ray J to talk about fucking Kim Kardashian and like I'm just talking.
Facts.
I'm held accountable because of, I guess my sexuality. I'm not supposed to talk about the women or the bitches or whatever, however you refer to them that I mess with. I guess all I can talk about is, niggas today. Untrue.
It's untrue.
So half of these bitches that was they bitches in the 90s was my bitches first.
Facts. All right, so you were at Las Vegas with Tupac. Well, hold on real quick before I get into that. I just want to let you know I just sent that other part. I just sent the other money to you too.
I said it.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Thank you. I said it. Thank you.
Yep. All right. So anytime, bro. Las Vegas shooting. You were there. You were clearly at the crap tables with Pac and Suge, even though your ass was underage, which is crazy to me. Take us through that. Take us.
In Vegas is the same thing.
Right.
I'm probably looking at some motherfuckers like call me washed up or whatever the hell you want to call me. I've lived it. I thank God that I'm humble. I just share my experiences. You know what I mean? Maybe I am poor. Maybe I'm mad because it ain't like, shit, I'm 16, 17 years old gambling in Vegas. Watching children spend hundreds
Hey, hold on, fam. It's breaking up. Hold on. It's breaking up. All right, can you hear me? It's breaking up bad, bro.
Can you hear me?
It's breaking up. A little bit, a little bit. It's like in and out. It just keeps, it's like in and out. It just like, I hear a little bit and a little bit. It's probably because you're on the road, though. All right, that's a little bit better.
Hello?
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so what was going on? What was your mind frame that night, being that you guys didn't have any security at the MGM Grand, and then after that, like right after that incident happened, did you expect something to happen, or talk me through how you were going through that?
I never would have expected anything like the magnitude of what went down, with that whole situation. And I really can't tell you if that was the night before or the day, as far as being at the gambling place, or the day of. But just being a part of that whole hoopla, man, I have been a part of a whole lot of ass with.
Hold on, it's breaking up again. Hold on.
You know what I mean? It was almost. Okay.
All right, try it now, because it looks like it's.
Okay.
Yep.
I've been several places, and Suge and his homies beat up people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I found myself in brawls. I fought more on death row around in the same type of situations than I did in group school. You know what I mean? Because that's what them niggas was about, like check and roll. You know what I mean? And wasn't no running, being around them. But to see that it went down in the magnitude of what it went, that was a little different, because Vegas was a comfortable place. No security. You ain't got to have on no bulletproof vest. Let's just relax, have a good time, smoke some good weed, spend some money. You know what I'm saying? And they still got a house there. We had no business really staying in a hotel. An incredible crib there in Vegas. But, that's what you do. We go to the crib, and then we go to the spot. Then we go to the hotel, to the Lux Star, or one of those other places.
Facts.
Enjoy all of the fringe benefits that came along with it, man. Like, Suge was treated like royalty everywhere that he went.
Yeah.
So to see something that was something like that happen, at a time like it did, was really surprising.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you, who or what do you think was the cause of the demise of Death Row in the 90s?
Obviously, some of the decisions that Suge made, Suge ultimately was the boss.
Right.
As I keep speaking, he was the head guy. But I think him losing some very significant people in his life and made him lose a lot of folks. You know what I mean? Bunch of rest in peace, homies. People that had it, that was in the hood, that had his ear, that was able to tell him, hey, no, man, we ain't doing that shit. You know what I mean? It was times that it was only certain people that can really just say no to Suge.
Right.
And Suge kind of listened to it. You know what I mean? I think Suge kind of started smelling himself, and the money started getting going. And I just don't think he had the right people around him. And then the demise of Death Row after him being locked up is the people that didn't know anything about the music business was over the record company. And on top of that, there was haters.
Right.
In charge of a big bag at that time. Reggie Wright and Michelle Lay. They were in charge of the bag, but they didn't have passion for the art. They didn't like none of the other artists. So, like Pac-Man, they started eating all of the money up and doing sneaky shit. And for the people that they didn't like previous to Suge being locked up, were the people that suffered the most. And I was just one of them.
Facts. Okay, so I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Indianapolis. You being from Chicago, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to know, because I hear you talk a lot about, the Death Row stuff. Right after Death Row was starting to falter, you start popping up with Twister and Do or Die and, speeding out mobsters and stuff like that. First, I got to say this. The way you sang on the front porch,
smoking reefer with a brew, got him feeling. Mm-hmm. Oh, the fuck was getting deeper. Ghetto love got him feeling. Mm-hmm. That's one of
Yes.
my favorite joints.
Man, so I've never heard anybody. I never heard anybody sing about weed so passionately. You could feel it. You know what I'm saying? You could feel
I'm
it.
a true smoker, man, but was it on a portion? The other one was snooping.
Yep, snooping. That's not right. Snooping through my things.
Man, that's one of my favorite joints I did with Twister. Like one of my favorite joints, doing those songs with him, man.
How did you meet up with them?
Well, you know, we all from the west side of Chicago. We all from the city. You know, we all been doing talent shows and being a part of different cliques. My relatives are part of Crucial Conflict, and I would always see them around rapping with them. And they just reached out to me when I got back, and it was a good time because I was just fresh back from death row. Mm-hmm. Still trying to find my way, and it was an opportunity I made. Every time I worked with Twista, I got paid. Yeah. And they made sure that he took care of me. My only fault, because I kind of cussed a little bit and said some things about Twista and was mad at him, was that I never understood why he and I never performed any of the songs that we did on stage together, because I've been on the road with other people doing a Jodeci show or singing background for New Edition, and people would holler out from the crowd, "Hey, what's up? When you and Twista gonna do Snooping? I want to hear Snooping, man." You know, so I would love to sing those songs on stage with us.
Okay.
When was the last time I talked to Suge Knight? Maybe about a month and a half, 2 months now.
Okay.
Maybe about two months. I say 3 months max. But I had an opportunity to speak with him. He reached out to me sometimes, like, you know, I don't know if he hears if something going good, because he'll call me about the restaurant business, you know, about my business. And, you know, he said some very inspiring shit. You know what I mean? Like, man, keep pushing and things like that. When he hears things, but when he want to be a little messy, I notice. You know, he'll call and say some shit. Yeah. You know, but I haven't heard from him since then.
Okay, but he's doing all right. He's holding it down. He's doing all right.
Man, he holding it together. The nigga ain't changed. Like, the nigga still talk shit and it sound like he's still playing it as if he's still out on the street.
Good.
It's always good even for me to hear his voice, especially knowing that he deals with health issues. You know what I mean? Right. No matter what go on, no matter what nobody hear me say in these interviews, or who I talked about, the God in me. I'm sharing my stories and my opinions, but it don't mean that I want the man dead.
Facts.
At times when I didn't want to live, I still didn't wish death upon him. Or you know, even with me speaking about Jewel, I spoke of those things, you know, because this was a part of the history of what I went through. But Jewel was a friend of me. You know, right. Jewel was good. That was one of the first artists I met on Death Row. Like, she showed me how the Hollywood, LA shit go. She showed me that shit. She turned me out in LA. Like, you know what I mean? And I was just speaking of that, and, you know, and to have dialogue between she and I, even before interviews and after interviews, of us speaking. You know what I mean? And her saying, you know, I didn't remember certain things, and I apologize for the way that I presented it. I'm a man.
Right.
I was raised by a man, and I was raised by a woman that knew how to raise a real man. So it wasn't to be disrespectful to any of these ladies or anything like that. So I have to recant, because when I say shit, I'm going to say it. I don't give a fuck how nobody feels.
Facts.
I try to share my mind and say it, and I be trying to, I feel like I'm called a priest, and so you can't be cussing and preaching, but the shit be coming out.
Right.
You understand? So to be able to speak on these things, about the Michelays and things like that, and the serious condition that even Jewel was in. It's not that serious to want to see these people dead or hurt in a way. I appreciate what Suge did for me.
Facts.
You know what I mean? When you hear me crying on there, I don't know how much money I'm owed by Death Row. When you hear these other people like Reggie Rice and people saying, you know, I'm not recouped, or I owe Death Row money, or I never released the album. Everybody heard the music that I sang on. And it should compute to something.
Facts.
And all the time when you hear me arguing, I'm not just talking about a goddamn check. I've argued and said things about a plaque, things that I've worked for. I'm not asking for shit for free. And Some people say get over it. This is shit that's only from the 90s. The 90s is what built this shit today.
Facts.
Period, point blank. We've been wearing gold chains. We've been wearing fucking the same bitches every other city we go. That ain't no new motherfucking song. So obviously it's the same hoes.
Right.
Nothing is different. Nothing is different. It's just that I'm in a different position now, and I understand. So, you know, I don't get offended when I see people with money that are doing better than me right now, because I was with niggas that had plenty of money.
Facts.
And that was doing better than me. I was with niggas that was doing better than every motherfucker I ever been around in my life. And look at their story now. So shit can change.
Let me ask you this then. So, how do you feel about the rebirth of Death Row Records under the new owner Snoop? And then, what are your thoughts on him removing the music from Apple and Spotify?
What do I feel about Snoop owning Death Row now? I try to answer that as nice as possible because, you know, Snoop and fucking dog food commercials.
Right.
Everybody is Uncle Snoop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's the most popular rapper ever. I mean, it's clear.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't take that away from him. I can't. Will I work with him if I had an opportunity on a song? Yeah. But I get so fucked about Snoop buying Death Row. He didn't have a record label that he was successful with that he was over before Death Row. Didn't he just take a Def Jam job? The first sign of assignment for Snoop when he went in, and he did a great job going to get his music. But his first assignment was the first logo I seen was Snoop Dogg in the goddamn Death Row seat.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Death Row show. It's like me going to buy the biggest church that you know in your city, snatching Jesus off the wall. I ain't gonna say Jesus because I know everybody thinks it's stupid. But snatching a pastor that built the church off the wall and putting myself up there now, it's a label for him. What do I feel he's gonna do with the stuff that he took off the streaming? Let's clear this up. I don't say Snoop owe me shit. Somebody owed me something.
Facts.
Whether it's a plaque, whether it's I got masters and unreleased music. I seen that Snoop went in the vote, and I know Snoop don't say nothing about Danny Boy. I have not a problem if he don't fuck with me. I don't give a fuck. But be nice enough to give me all of the music that I recorded. Be nice to me. Give me my master.
Right.
No, don't give them to me. Throw that shit in the trash behind the studio, and I'll go get
it myself. Right.
If Danny Boy is garbage, put my shit in the garbage so I can pick it up because I know the music that's in the vault. So I deserve to be called because a lot of money was spent on this music.
Facts.
I would take a Danny Boy back in to sing those songs over and release it.
Man.
And when I said that shit, I don't know a motherfucker Snoop know that sing like Danny Boy. Somebody was like, well, Charlie Wilson. Nah, Charlie Wilson is a G, the daddy of this shit.
Facts.
I wasn't speaking on Charlie Wilson, but anybody from the era of people that he got singing around now, how'd you pass the Danny Boy up?
That's true. I mean, I would have thought he would have had you back on Death Row too, just because of everybody else. You know what I mean? He got Daz and Corrupt and, you know, some of the Blue Team back, but, you know, I was, you know.
That's exactly what it is. Like, and even when I was around Suge, I fucked with Suge, and I still fuck with his homies and his hood and things like that. But I know Crip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I fuck with everyone. We around here 50, 40, 35, 65 years old, still talking about blood and Crip.
Right.
A bike road and focus. Nothing against it. But these young niggas killing each other up.
Right.
The fuck I would be sitting up talking about I'm not working with a Crip because he a Crip. Or he got on blue. Motherfucker, I got blue shoes. I like blue shoes.
Right.
I got red pants, nigga, because I got homies from the red side and I like the color red.
And we 45 plus, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
We about to get that card. So many niggas already got their AARP card.
Facts.
So they sitting up talking about I don't like her. Who I don't like her? It's not liking me. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck if you like me. I'm talking about a plaque. I'm talking about those masters. And if there's a check that's owed to Danny Boy, write a check. I don't give a fuck who it come from. It can come from they can sign that motherfucker with a crayon.
As long as they cash.
Period, point blank.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you this too. So, if you had with the new popular versus series, if you had to pick a versus to go up against anybody, who would it be between Danny Boy, yourself, against anybody you could go up against. Me and my friends had to talk about it. We said it would be, he was also with Do or Die Them. His name was Johnny P. We would have thought that would have been the one back and forth for you. Who do you think you would like to go up in the verses, if that ever came up?
I wish it would come up, but I know that I haven't had an opportunity to present music as a full artist. Only thing I've done is hook. So a versus for hook against hook, and to take it against, the hook that they were doing over there at Bad Boy, against the hook that, in different places, different artists. The singing hook was popular around that time. But Nate Dogg is the G of hook.
Okay.
To me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would bow out if Nate Dogg was to come up and they put them in the verses, because Nate Dogg did those hooks.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But as far as myself, I wish they would come up with something, a verses of a person. See, you can call it, the unsung verses if you want to.
Right.
And we let the people kind of measure it up. I'll sing against any of them niggas.
Facts.
My shit like rapping when it comes to singing. I feel like I want to sing against any. I wish I knew how to sing this shit like a rapper, because I'd go against any of them.
There you go. All right, so I got 2 more questions for you.
Yes,
because it took real courage for you to come out, as a gay man in hip hop. When you came out, did you get a lot of support from the LGBTQ plus community, how did the hip hop community accept that?
Thank you as well, because it did take a lot of courage to come out. Just being a man and having kids and the previous relationships with their mothers and ex-wives, those are things that I had to consider. And I got a lot of hate and still get a lot of hate and slack and name calling, but that just come a part of it. You know what I mean? As far as the LGBT community go, I've gotten support in different places. I don't know if they know I'm gay yet. Like, I've been trying to get a letter to I don't know if it's the community or if it's the board that I need to tell them, because there's some shows that, I would love to be a speaking person, for that community.
Facts.
Because there's a lot of things that needs to be said for people that is hiding in the closet, man. Like I'm not trying to pull nobody out, but it's people that mentally challenged because of their lifestyle.
Right.
And they can't get to the next level because they can't be who they want to be.
Right.
So you hear people committing suicide, and they dealing with it in their kids and their household and don't know how to deal with their child. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's unheard. Like, this shit is in your crib now.
Right.
I don't care what it sounds like with me. It's that close. You could be raising. You could